Hi, welcome back to Reddit Stories. I'm Shane. I'm Shane.
I'm Shane.
I'm Shane.
And
today's theme, my hamster exploded.
There it is.
Trigger warning if you don't want to hear about an animal getting hurt in any sort of capacity.
Or potentially exploding.
Or exploding. Skip this one to the next story.
So I took the hamster and I went,
This story was written by Shrek.
right.
Okay.
That's a great reference.
I forgot about this one. I sent this forever ago.
Shane's in bed reading it. It's like, my hamster exploded.
Boing.
Okay. I've been crying in my room for 2 hours now. I was making some salad dressing in the kitchen with my pet hamster, Manny. I let him roam around. My sister and her friends were also in there doing something. I spilled a bottle of vinegar, so I left to get a towel, and when I came back, Manny was drinking it. No. I didn't think anything of it, so I let him help me clean it up. All of a sudden, Manny starts acting really weird. He's normally very full of energy, but he was just sitting still. Everyone gathered around him to try to figure out what was wrong.
There's a circle of people going, oh no.
Manny?
Suddenly, we hear a fizzling noise coming from inside Manny, and he starts expanding. He let out a final squeak and bursted. Bubbles and blood went everywhere. My sister and her friends started screaming and crying. I ran and got my dad, and he cleaned it up. We looked in the pantry, and apparently Manny got into the baking soda and ate a bunch of it.
He became a volcano.
He volcanoed himself.
I think I'm traumatized now.
You think?
Okay, the only thing I can give people is I think, I'm fairly certain this is fake.
However.
But it's insane.
Is that the rest? Is that the end of the story?
That's the story, because it's just that I'm like, okay, he got into some baking soda and then drank some vinegar.
It's that scene from Big Trouble in Little China where the guy.
Yeah, he's like, I think it's a fake story, but it's insane.
That's wacky.
But yeah.
Hamsters are known to die in crazy ways.
No,
Yes.
all rodents, I have heard, there's no good way for them to go. It's like literally a lot of the time, it's just like, oh, their heart exploded.
Yeah.
Right, or they're like, because like some rodents, you know how their teeth like grow out this way? Sometimes the teeth just decide to grow the opposite way and just smush their brain. Rodents are f***ed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough life out there.
It's hard. It's rough out there for a little rat.
Yeah. So a couple comments on this. Why can't hamsters ever have a normal death? Why is it always some out-of-pocket shit, dude?
Yep.
Someone else said, I'm torn between damn, that sucks and I'm sorry that happened, to great story, dude. You keep baking soda on the floor and a hamster isn't going to expand. His stomach will burst and you won't know what's wrong without an autopsy. He's not a freaking balloon. Lastly, someone said, this is simultaneously the funniest and most heartbreaking thing I've seen all year. Yeah, the events don't play out like
It's definitely a Looney Tune.
I think it's a fake story, but it's a funny fake story.
Coming into it and be like, Dad, my hamster exploded.
My hamster exploded everywhere in the room. No, the idea of the hamster being like,
yeah,
and exploding. No, he's right. The hamster would die, and then you'd be like, what happened?
So what happened?
All right, you want to explain what's going on here?
Wow.
Yeah, so there's that one. Moving on. Got hearing aids today and cried because my cat purred.
Oh. Oh my God. We're so I thought we were screwed.
Okay.
Let's ride, dude.
I, a 31-year-old woman, began to lose my hearing about 10 years ago when I was in the military. My husband and I got a cat about 5 years ago. I've never owned a cat before, so I had no idea what kind of noises they made besides meow, so I had no context for what to expect when I heard my cat purr for the first time today. I was laying in bed and he jumped up next to me and snuggled into my armpit. I started to feel him vibrate like he always does, and then I heard it. I was so scared at first, I didn't understand what the sound was. Then it clicked. Purring isn't just vibrating, it's a sound, I can hear it. My cat has wandered off now, but I keep bursting into tears just thinking about his purr. I've never heard a cat purr before, and it's so sweet. There's this ethereal quality to it I can't even describe. It has this rhythmic pattern to it. It's all nasally but low and fluttery. My husband and kids are sleeping, and I don't want to wake them up, but I'll tell them in the morning. I just wanted to share this joy I'm feeling with someone now. Also, I've been amazed at quite a few sounds I didn't know I was missing. I forgot when you rip paper towels, they actually make a rip sound. I heard the fan in the living room. I can hear the clock above my desk ticking. Turns out I have no idea how to whisper. My own voice sounds so strange. Consonants sound strange. The water running in the tub when I was giving my toddler a bath last night sounded so loud. I can't wait to hear more.
Aww. That's really special.
am dead.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
They actually recently came out with some new research on house cats and purring and how like it's actually a phenomenon that they can do that because big cats, that is normal because their vocal cords are so big that creating a low frequency like that is normal. But since these cats are so small, they're like, actually, this is really fantastic that they're
Wow.
able to do that. Yeah, so that's funny. And then also, I've heard stories about people who didn't realize like their hair made sound when you brush it
Aw.
and stuff.
That's wild.
gosh.
That's
like-
gotta be so cool for life.
Connecting to an animal's like sound. Like, okay, my dog doesn't bark at all. And once I heard him bark, and I just started sobbing.
Aww.
And that's what I was like, I don't know, that's very different. But I was like, wow, it's kind of like hearing your kid's first words when they're like, wow, you made a sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's so, oh my God.
It's very sweet. I relate to this because our cat, Bones, he wakes me up like very early in the morning if I'm not like in the right position in bed because he likes to get up and curl up right here and sleep.
And is he
And
going?
he purrs. He purrs the whole time.
Full.
Yeah, he's blasting off.
Yeah, but he'll meow at me until I like move and like
It's
lay in
so
the right way so that
funny,
he can get in
yeah.
there.
Every single morning?
Pretty much every morning, yeah. Early, like it'll be like 4 or 5 where he'll wake me up, and then he'll get there, and then I'll wake up 7 or 8, and he's still there. So he'll sleep for hours there. And he does the thing that I've seen a lot of cats do where like he'll walk up and then like slam, you know, like they kind of like plop into
Yeah.
you. It's very sweet. Some comments here. Just wait until you hear tree leaves flutter in the wind. OP said, and I'm sobbing again. I haven't even thought about that sound in years. I wonder how long it's been since I heard leaves rustling. Someone said, now I'm crying with you. I really do take such simple sounds for granted. Tomorrow I'm going to go into my backyard and just listen. If you haven't yet, open the windows tomorrow morning and hear the sounds of the birds in the distance, and maybe your cat will chirp too. It's a funny noise if you haven't heard it from your boy yet. Someone said, this is so sweet. I'm hard of hearing and wear hearing aids in both ears. I had a similar experience when I got my first pair. I kept hearing tires hitting the pavement while my parents were driving, or when I heard rain for the first time, and it was a whole new world. Different sounds will continue to amaze you. Enjoy it. It's such a cool experience. So exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is also what she said. Did she say something about like thinking that the purr sound was weird before she lost her hearing?
She just thought it was like a vibrating thing that she didn't realize.
Yeah,
that was a
she said
sound.
she started losing her hearing 10 years before. I am a little curious that she just never heard a cat purr before that. But if she never had a cat and was never close to
Yeah.
a cat, maybe you just never really experienced it.
What's special about that though is like that sounds that we may not think are beautiful, when you lose them, they come back, and it's just like the joy of being alive. It's
Totally.
just the sound rather than like a good pleasing sound. It's just like a sound. Oh,
Yeah, I get that. I also relate like in other senses too. Like sometimes when you stop and just kind of like look at stuff and you're just like, oh wow, everything's so vibrant and crazy looking. Yeah, beautiful.
Pretty sweet.
Okay, moving on. Am I the asshole for not telling my boss about his boogers every day?
boogers.
About his boogers.
Oh boy.
This is so asinine, but here we are. My boss and I have client-facing positions, so we talk to people face-to-face every day. My boss is also 6'4", and I'm 5'5", so I'm constantly looking up to talk to him. I'm not sure if it's because of the allergies or what, but every single day, he has boogers in his nose that are clearly visible. And every single day I tell him, you have boogers in your nose. I try to tell him before he sees anyone else because no one wants that embarrassing situation. This has been going on for weeks, every single day without fail. This is where I may be the asshole. I decided to stop telling him. He's a grown man in his 30s, and I started to feel like his mom having to tell him to blow his freaking nose every once in a while. He's aware this happens every day. It's not new. I feel like he needs to start taking preventative measures or at least look in a mirror at some point. On Friday, I didn't tell him, and he had a meeting. Apparently, the other person, he knows personally, jokingly handed him a tissue and didn't make a big deal out of it, but he was super upset with me for not giving him a heads up. Like I said, I get it. It's an embarrassing thing that happened, but my job description does not include check boss nose every day for bears in the cave.
Oh.
I was venting to my spouse who told me he can see where it would get annoying, but I needed to be a decent person and let him know. I have been for weeks, but at what point is the booger haver's responsibility to handle their own hygiene? Edit to add, my boss wasn't checking the last few days because since you stopped telling me, I figured I didn't have them anymore, which makes no sense. He obviously never checked.
Why is he putting that all on the other person?
If I guess to a certain degree of like, this guy should be a little more self-conscious.
And it's bats in the cave.
It's bats in the cave.
I was
That's-
like, bears in the cave?
Yeah, it's bats in the
What are we
cave.
saying?
I've never heard that.
If you had bears in the cave, you need assistance. You haven't heard, do I have any
If you have
bats?
bears in the cave, you need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you need to, hello.
Yeah, if someone told me that once, or even like 2 days in a row,
I'd be like,
I'd
oh
be
my
checking
God.
I'd be like, yeah, so what's going on?
Yeah.
But I'm very self-conscious about that stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm aware.
I love picking my nose. It's truly like
Very satisfying.
it's the most. Well, yesterday, not to talk about me right now, but yesterday I was like having a really intense conversation with Sam, and I was just standing in the kitchen, just like going so deep in there, and it was like such an intense conversation. And then I'm like embarrassed now by it.
No, you're not embarrassed.
Well,
Sam loves you.
he does, but the conversation we're having was so like serious, and I was just like going in there, like yeah. But anyways, I love picking my nose. I don't know why maybe your boss should find enjoyment in just digging in those caves.
Just get in there.
Get in
those
there.
Bats
Those
out
bats
of there.
need to be released.
Especially after doing it for so long, but to have the expectation of like, you're the person who needs to tell me that is crazy.
Being so upset.
Yeah, I would not expect that
Grow
of anyone.
up.
I am also, do you think I think you both are probably pretty good at letting people know if they have like
Yes. Yeah.
something in their nose or like something in their teeth.
I can't look at them in the face without telling them. And
She doesn't. I feel like you are very like. I get so awkward and weird about it, like because I feel weird telling people that like you have.
I feel
No, it's awkward.
I do it, but I definitely am like,
yeah.
It's awkward. You kind of just have to pull off the Band-Aid and go, you have something on your face, and then be like, all right, it's
but
okay.
if you say it just so straight away, it's never awkward.
Exactly.
You just go like, oh, you got something in your teeth.
The
and then you just
worst
keep.
part is if you wait, because
Yes.
you're like, I have waited because I'm like, I don't know how this person's gonna take it. You know how sometimes you're like, this person might not take this well.
Yes.
Like it's gonna be my fault
Yeah.
somehow. And then you wait, and then they're like even more upset. They're like, dude, I had something. I remember I was serving a table, and I had lipstick all over my teeth. And I talked to this table for like 10 minutes about like life, LA, and one of them just moved here, and I was like, yeah, and I was outside, and it was a little hot, and I came back, and my friend was like, dude, what happened? Did you eat lipstick? Like, and I was like, that table didn't say anything, and they were like, oh, bummer. And now I like don't respect them.
I know. I think you should tell, especially if it's your friend. You need to tell them.
Oh
there's-
yeah, for sure.
Or you do this other thing, which I don't recommend.
Oh no.
I don't recommend this because it's bad. But you just keep staring.
No. Olivia, no.
No, but then you start to realize like, oh, maybe there's something in my nose or my teeth, but you just keep staring when there's.
What?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
And this is worse too, where you go, I mean, this is fine. No, you can do this. But sometimes you do this, and then people go, oh, and you're like, no, I had an itch. Oh, God.
I feel like, Amanda, if you were in this woman's situation, you would eventually tell this boss, like, hey,
I'm done.
Every day this is happening, you need to check on this.
Oh, I absolutely would have. I would have been like, hey, it is not in my job description to tell you that you have bats in the cave. Dude, you got to work on it. I'm not going to tell you.
But maybe they're sick.
Well, she's saying maybe it's allergies.
Maybe
but,
they're
like,
constantly sick.
They're just a permanent cold. The verdict was not the asshole. Some comments. Oh my God, that is so gross. Not the asshole at all. I have a hard time even telling a friend that, though I know I should. Maybe suggest he buy a compact mirror to check himself before meetings. LMAO, that is so crazy and gross. Someone said, not the asshole, but you sort of have designated yourself as the booger checker for doing this so much for so long, LMAO. After the third time, I would just accept that he is a booger man now and not say anything.
LMAO. A lot of people fucking just dying laughing right now.
Not the asshole. If a grown-ass man can't wipe his boogers, that is on him, not you. If he wants to make you his personal booger checker, you need a raise.
Oh.
Dude, boogers is not the right word.
I really hate
Yeah,
it.
stop calling
struggling.
Yeah, the word booger. What else could you call that?
There's no good word for it.
It's not.
It's not.
They're all disgusting.
A boog.
A bug.
A bug.
A little bug.
You got a little bug in your little nose, boo.
I'm really grossed out by boogers, so.
You are?
Yeah.
Like, not horribly so, but I'm just like,
I'm not that grossed out by it.
I do sometimes go in there.
Oh, I get in there. Like I said.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, next story. My boyfriend has started becoming more and more insecure about my height, and it's starting to drive me crazy.
Ha ha.
Throw away, and for context, I'm a 22-year-old woman and he's a 23-year-old man. We're both about 5'8". I'm slightly shorter, so maybe he's 5'8 and a half. I'm tall for a girl. I was a shooting guard on the basketball team during my first 3 years of college. He knew this going into the relationship.
You knew how tall I was.
You knew it.
When we kissed,
knew this.
standing up
Next to our rulers.
next to our rollers.
We've been together.
Put your ass against the, and we're gonna kiss.
We've been together for 7 months. The first 6 months were smooth sailing. However, last month we went
Started dunking on him. I got the H-O-R and the S.
However, last month we went to a more posh/bougie party and I wore heels. Of course, I end up being taller than him by a decent bit. So instead of telling me how pretty he thought I looked, the first thing he pointed out was, "Wow, you look way too tall in those."
So you look at Bigfoot.
Even asked if I had a shorter pair of heels and then finally gave it up. I found that really weird and out of character about him. But that was only the start. Ever since that day, he has bugged me at least 4 times a week to assure that I feel protected around him. Literally yesterday, he asked if I'd love him more if he was above 6 foot. Whenever we take side-by-side pics, he gets on his tippy toes to make it seem like he's much taller than me.
I do that with Tommy.
I crack my knees out when I stand next to you, so I'm on the ground.
He also randomly tries to lift me up, which he can with ease since he's strong, and it catches me off guard every time.
Bro, that gave me the ick.
I know. He tries straightening his back to the point where he looks weird. He's bought into some weird narrative that I see him as less of a man because he's not 4 inches taller. I've told him multiple times that I don't care about his height, otherwise I wouldn't have gotten with him. No matter how many I love yous I'll throw at him, and I mean all of them. He just can't stop talking about this issue. Guys, what do I do? He's been acting so immature about this.
Cut your feet off.
Yeah, I think she has to cut her feet off. She's gonna have to make some sacrifices.
Yeah.
I selected this because I've never understood this insecurity. The only times I've ever felt insecure about, it's not like an insecurity, it's just like oh damn. It's like when I was on dating apps and stuff, and there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I won't date someone under like a certain height. But once I was, in my entire life, whenever I've been dating someone, I then don't really care. Like, I don't care if they're taller than me.
No, I think the only times I felt like a little insecure about it are dating apps when it's like, when it feels like a statistic. Because it's like, it's listed like a sports statistic. And then at airports, when you gotta take your shoes off. For some reason, everyone just feels like a foot taller than me at the airport. I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
Like at the
yeah, like when you're going through
ZZop
security,
thing, yeah.
I'm like,
They put you in the tube and tell you to put your hands up.
Why is everyone a Navi?
Yeah. I feel like Jake Sully.
But I could never fathom like telling someone to not wear heels because they.
No, and to me, like at this age, I mean, unfortunately, sorry, I've been saying unfortunately a lot. Smosh just kind of made everything a little funny to me. So like now, if like if my partner's like way taller than me, it's like It's like, joke's on you.
I just don't think about it. But some short guys, I guess, really get hung up on it. Like, really don't like it.
But if a genie came up to you, Tommy, you're excluded from this conversation. How tall are you?
Basically 6'1" when my hair's
Fuck
doing its
off.
thing.
If someone was like, hey, here's 6 inches for free. Not
Free?
Let me rephrase that better. I will make you grow.
6 inches for free?
I'll be like,
What?
Okay, you're back. You're back in the game. Just Tommy salutes. No, someone's like, dude, I can make you half a foot taller for, let's say, $1,000.
oh,
I mean,
I think anyone would do that.
Okay, but that's like, there's a lot of, it's like,
I'm just asking, bro. I'm asking the question.
I'll make your 6-pack a little more visible for $1,000. I'll make
not the question.
I'll make your butt fatter for $1,000. I'm like, I'll do all these, man.
Taking out loans.
Like I would do. There's a lot of but it's not like I'm like desperate for that.
Right.
If I get 3 wishes from a genie, that's not probably going to be one of my wishes.
But what if they were like, hey, give me $1,000 or I'll make you 3 inches shorter?
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Okay, let me pitch this.
This is weird.
Welcome to my Reddit stories.
Let me pitch this. Okay, you guys are obviously secure, well-rounded, healthy in the brain guys, mostly. Have you guys seen the surgeries that they do where they break the shins or whatever and they stretch the legs out? It takes like a year to like get it and recover. How much money would you have to get paid to do that surgery?
I don't think I would ever do it. I don't think I would ever do it because I think that would, you're gonna be fucked up.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be fucked up. And I'm like, honestly, like post 50, 60, like I'm not gonna care about my height at that point. But I will be feeling that shit.
That's so true.
I'm way more worried about that. I
that's
care so much more about my health and like,
Longevity.
no, bullshit.
bones.
I don't need it.
Yeah. If someone were to pay me to do it,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, not much. I mean, I would also have to see a mock-up. Like, what are my proportions gonna be?
You're gonna look very silly.
Same shins, huge.
Yeah, no, you're gonna look
You
a little
look crazy.
silly.
But if maybe I've got short shins. I don't know
That's-
where I
maybe that's where
I don't know where I carry my height.
That's true.
I would need to look at a naked picture of myself and then be like, this will be longer.
The first time you've
according
ever
to an
looked at yourself
article-
naked.
Yeah.
Leg lengthening surgery can cost around $75,000 and is roughly a 4-hour operation, and also probably a shit ton of recovery time.
They crank it.
Yeah,
Like
no,
you
it's
go
awful.
in and they
over it, yeah.
crank it.
Yeah.
Have you not heard about this?
I would never do this.
You have braces on your legs for like months, and as soon as it heals, they go crank, crank, and it stretches your bones out, and then it heals again, and you do it over and over again until you're taller.
And
The things men do.
you kind of have to like relearn how to walk.
Yep.
Yeah, no, not doing that. Anyways, comments.
We're freaking our crew out. This is great.
Because this is the thing. This is the thing. You get that surgery because it's like, oh, I want to be more attractive. But it's like, then you have to tell people that you got that surgery. And I'm like, 5'7", but you never got that surgery, or 6 foot, but you got that surgery. What do you think people would rather pick?
I think the kind of people that might be going for someone because of height might care a little less. Maybe.
Yeah, but I just also think these guys are going for the wrong people.
Yeah, exactly.
What I liked is I did see one of those posts where a guy had done that, and the comment on it was just like, "You're 5'7" forever, dude." Like it's just like, sorry, dude, you're still 5'7". Like
And there's nothing wrong with that.
You're 5'7".
We should do it. We should do like a pit vlog where we have stilts on all day, and where it's like, what's it like?
Okay.
Did anyone write that
Anyone
down?
write that down? I didn't hear any pen scribbling.
Some comments on this post. He knew this going into the relationship. Well, at least you didn't just suddenly reveal yourself to be 5'8".
That'd be
That would have
sick.
been dishonest.
She's just like,
Yeah.
I will show you my true form. My husband is 5'6" on a tall day. I'm really petite, but I remember when we were young, I've known him my whole life, he had a long-term relationship with a gorgeous girl who was quite a bit taller than him. I think maybe she's 5'9" or so. Honestly, I think that made him more desirable to a lot of beautiful women, and most of his relationships have been with stunning women who are his height or taller. That just means he's secure and he likes beautiful women.
this is about me.
I'm lucky he picked me,
Way to
a
go.
shorty who is much more average with looks. He could have chosen anyone. Lastly, someone said, this is the type of guy who has a great girlfriend, gets insecure about his height. He then lets his insecurities cause issues, and the girl dumps him. Then the guy complains about not being able to get a girlfriend because of his height. The cycle continues. Someone responded to that saying, for me, it was that he thought I was too pretty for him, and all pretty girls cheat and are mean. So he cheated and was mean to me first because obviously I already was awful, right? Is there a word for this? LOL.
Yeah, incel.
Right.
I do think that the insecurity is so much worse than any physical trait. So this guy is blowing it. He's fumbling the bag,
Yeah.
sadly.
And he's short.
And he's also short.
Up.
It's the and the actual dating experiences it never really comes up.
Yeah, it's definitely like in my entire life, there's been so many people who don't give a shit. So
It's not a thing in the gay world.
there's just
For
too
the
many
most part.
people.
Shut up, tall ass.
There's just so many people.
I've dated people taller than me and shorter than me, and it's all fun.
6 inches free.
Where?
All right.
3 inches are free.
And I want it now.
They're my 6 inches and I want it now.
Okay, our next story. I am secretly my boyfriend's live stream viewers. This comes from True Off My Chest. My boyfriend has just started streaming and he seems pretty excited about it. He didn't buy a whole setup yet, but live streams whenever he is on. I streamed briefly and know how hard it is to get viewers. I open multiple private browsers on my personal laptop, work laptop, and phone. This way I can have his stream going and it counts as multiple viewers. When he saw 4, he was stoked. It's only 4 viewers, but he was so happy. There's very little in this world right now that can cause that genuine happiness and expression. I sit on the other side of the couch with the volume down on all devices and just pretend I'm doing schoolwork. Edit. Wow, I appreciate the kind comments. I haven't shared his link because the purpose of this post was to get something off my chest and not farm subs. I believe he is capable of it on his own. It's just to keep him motivated, and I have already shared with friends and family. I also don't want him to find out. He plays Warzone/Vanguard. Perhaps you'll come across his stream in the future. He streams on Twitch. I give him 4 viewers, not 1,000. This is something I've literally done for the last 2 weeks. Do not tell me I have copied and pasted. I have no reason. Also, thank you for the awards. I'm fairly new to Reddit and I enjoy this community.
Wow.
That came from
Enjoy that.
came from over a year ago. So I wonder what the status is now.
It was Ninja. Good for him.
My boyfriend, Kai Sinat.
This is sweet. We do this with Spencer here.
Yeah, we do that for Spencer.
And I really appreciate all the comments saying nice things about Spencer. We know
That's us.
he's actually a piece of
All of
shit,
us,
but I'm glad we make him feel nice.
You do what you do for the people you love.
Yes, exactly. Comments on this one. Final words on your deathbed to your boyfriend/future husband. I was all 4 of your live stream viewers.
Oh my God.
Someone said, you can tell him that you were his viewer, supporter, fan, and lover. Someone said, on one hand, it's sweet and very supportive of you, but on the other hand, I always wonder what their reaction would be if they found out. There's no harm in doing so, but depending on the expectations, it would be akin to pulling back the curtains if it was revealed that all of his 4 viewers was just his girlfriend he was trying to interact with. Someone said, I mean, I personally would be super happy. Someone clearly cares about you if they're willing to go to lengths to make you happy. I think that's worth sacrificing the approval of 4 internet strangers. So lastly, someone said, I do this for my man too. I've been doing it for a few months now, and slowly his following is growing. I got so excited when he got real viewers that I almost blew my cover.
Aww.
Yeah, I mean, also, I don't, she's like, oh, I'm not trying to farm viewers, but it's like, dude, if you're trying to do it, like that is literally, when you're starting out, you got to do whatever to get viewers.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be a shame. It sounds like she did post his link somewhere though, so
I remember.
that's the nicest thing.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid and like I did it at a lemonade stand once with my cousins.
A lemonade stand?
And my parents like I was a kid. And my parents were the only one that bought lemonade, and I was so fucking pissed.
That sucks.
I was like, it doesn't count if you know me. I need to sell lemonade to a neighbor who doesn't
Right.
know me.
I think it's really sweet because there's been stories where someone's like, oh, my partner streams and it's stupid and it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Like if this is a passion of his, to support it. I mean, to support people's passions and hobbies and things like that is really great to like nurture that.
Yeah, and I like, you know, I do think about like if he were to find out, there is potential that he would be upset and distraught because he thought, like, you know, like I wonder who these 4 people are. Maybe they're like some kid at home across the country, like, and so yeah. But I would hope that he saw the support in it, and it's very cute. And I see that it's like you're getting him motivated and making him excited about it. And yeah, I bet his following has totally grown since then.
And not even just motivation, but like confidence. I feel like it's
Yeah.
important. Where you're like, oh, I have a couple people watching me, so I must be, and just that belief to be like, I'm worth it.
If anything, like if she eventually tells him once he gets some real viewers, like he was learning to like be like, oh, there are people watching. I need to do this as if people are watching. That changes things, and so it probably gave him a little bit of a head start of like practice.
100%. Like anytime I improvise with people who haven't really been improvising, I make sure to like laugh early a lot, because once they feel confident, then they start actually playing and they like do stuff. So you like have to like foster that a little
You're so
bit.
nice.
You too.
No.
Wholesome.
Streaming is also, I think streaming gets such a bad rap. It's hard, man. Whenever we
can't
do it, it's
imagine.
exhausting.
Being by yourself.
It's really hard.
Yeah, no, Trevor talked about he was trying to stream for a long time, and it is really hard. My little brother was trying to stream, and he was like, yeah, no, I would have to be streaming like 12 hours a day to try and cultivate any kind of audience. Like he was struggling.
It's
It didn't work.
tough, man. And it's just like, I don't know, it's a weird type of exhaustion that I get when I do it. So props to people who are starting at the ground level and building up. It's really impressive. Next story. Am I the asshole for wanting to sleep in comfortable pajamas at my boyfriend's house? Okay. So last night was my 24-year-old woman first sleepover with my new boyfriend, who's 29, of 2 months. He bought me a gift of lingerie. It is beautiful, but not comfortable. I think of this particular lingerie as the sort of thing you only wear for 5 minutes at a time when your partner takes it off. Ha ha. Which is essentially what happened. I wore the lingerie for him, he took it off, we were intimate, it was lovely. But then the trouble started when we were ready to sleep. I went to put on the pajamas I packed, which is men's boxers. I bought it specifically for pajamas. It wasn't an X's or anything. And a t-shirt I got from the beach. This is the sort of thing I always wear to sleep, and I didn't think it should be any different with my boyfriend. But he asked why I didn't put the lingerie back on. Did I not like it? I said that I loved it, but it was a bit scratchy to actually sleep in. He said, what the hell was my outfit? Why was I dressed like a man? I said I always sleep in stuff like this, except when it's cold, I wear footy pajamas. He said that's fine when I'm alone, but when I'm with him, it makes him feel sick to his stomach to see me dressed like a man. So I caved and put the lingerie back on. I'm now lying awake because the lingerie is scratching my nethers. He is my first boyfriend I could actually sleep over with. I've been single since high school, so I admit I don't really know the etiquette. Am I the asshole?
What is happening? What is actually...
I'm unwell.
What are we discussing?
This is so
What year is it?
freaked up.
This is so freaked up. Nobody wears lingerie to bed.
Yeah.
No one's like, dude, okay, bedtime. No.
No one does that.
Nobody does that.
This guy is a piece of shit, especially like after they got intimate, he's still like...
Put it back on? Are you
put it
serious?
back on. Like, I'm like...
He sounds a little homophobic.
Well, yeah, he doesn't like her dress. Like, you're dressed like a man?
Yeah.
Oh, like, what the fuck? It's just like, dude.
I'm really upset. I want to... This person, you are so stupid. You are literally stupid, and you should be
Tell him.
ashamed of yourself.
Tell him.
Why don't you put on the lingerie if you like it so much?
That is so true.
Thank
I would
you.
love to see a man put on lingerie and go to bed.
Go to
Also,
bed.
It takes forever to put on. What are we discussing?
If you're wearing a thong to sleep,
Good night.
good night.
Well,
good
not
luck.
good night.
Good night? Well, not good night. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck to you. You don't wear thongs and well, some people wear bras to bed. That's fine.
That's fine. It's uncomfortable.
Well,
for
the point
me.
is when you're going to bed, you want to wear what's comfortable.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. You're trying to be as comfortable as possible for sleeping.
How long have they been dating? Did they
2
say?
months.
Oh.
I'm really upset. at
He's
this
outta here.
person. You suck.
Yeah.
You fucking suck.
This is intense. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
I don't like this at all.
My blood
Also,
is boiling.
etiquette. Phew, that's hard.
This is weird.
Put it back on.
I feel bad for her because she's like, this is the first time I've slept over at someone's house. She's like, I've been single since high school. She's 24. So I understand she probably is just like, oh my gosh, I'm with someone. This is like, this is so great. I'm with someone, but it's like, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
This guy is gonna get so much
How
worse.
is she gonna like fart in this relationship?
He sounds very controlling.
He sounds, well, he's objectifying the shit out of her. He has no idea how women actually operate. No. I don't know. He wants her to be attractive all the time.
But he's gonna be asleep.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, you're going to bed. Like, all it's about is comfort now.
You're not going to even see her because your eyes are closed.
I just don't like any part of this at all.
No, it's sad.
I
He's 29,
Oh God.
acting this way.
Oh no.
It's bad. That's really bad.
have so much to say, but I won't.
Correct.
It's all in my head.
Side opinion, this definitely depends on the relationship. I mean, everyone operates different. 2 months, like the first time sleeping over at his place, buying her a set of lingerie feels kind of weird.
A little too early.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
first time sleeping over at his place and he's buying you a lingerie set.
no.
That just feels like a little too like
Yeah.
full on focused on the sexual.
Right,
And
yeah.
not like, oh, let's like have a good like chill time right
Yeah.
now.
I feel like buying lingerie is like a very vulnerable, special thing.
Yes.
And 2 months in,
2 months
feels
in
a little like
I think it's way too fast. But it does this guy is giving like he's very much thinking of like what the internet and what media has told him like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm being a man. And
Yeah.
This is, I don't know.
It's
No.
It's very toxic.
it's very like movie, like this is what you saw in a movie, that this guy
Exactly.
did that.
The
and,
pressure
like,
he's already putting on her is ridiculous. The comments, not the asshole. If he's against you sleeping in a shirt and boxers because of aesthetics, what the hell else would he control? Maybe he should sleep in lingerie for one night and rethink his asshole opinion. Sleepwear isn't meant to be sexy. OP responded, I wish he would just try the lingerie on to see what it feels like, but maybe that wouldn't be fair because he is male and has a different situation in that region than me. But the lingerie digs into me really bad because it's a bodysuit type and I'm tall. They make these for average height women. And he said that the reason it doesn't fit is because I'm too fat for it.
whoa, missed out on that.
I probably should have included that in the first post, maybe. It is a size large, and I'm more of an XL, but I think my proportions would be that of an average height size L. I don't think I'm fat. I'm more curvy/chubby, and I thought that was his type because his ex-wife has a similar body type.
Oh, it's already done. Oh,
This is
it's done.
That's done.
Dude.
Not the asshole. He is controlling and manipulating you into doing what he wants because you feel bad. Take that shit off and put on the comfy clothes. If his masculinity is that fragile, then you need to run from this boy child.
2 months in, called her fat? I mean, never call them fat, ever. But like 2 months in?
Like just the first time.
Damn,
like,
bro.
This guy's just immediately the worst human.
Oh.
I think it's like, yes, never. But if he's that comfortable saying that now, how much worse is he about to be?
Exactly.
OP responded to that one saying, haha, that is what I did. If he says a bad word to me about it tomorrow, I am not going to sleep over again and consider breaking up. She should just break up with him.
break up with him.
100%, I would have been fucking out of there.
He fucking sucks. He's a piece of shit.
I will say though, I always say like I would have been out of there, but it's really overwhelming when this happens to you because we want to be like, oh, she should have left, but I do think it's really hard in the moment because you're like,
Totally.
I've invested 2 months. My friends and family kind of know about this person. I'm embarrassed that he said this because I didn't expect him to say that.
Right.
So many things.
I also relate to her where I was single until like around her age as well. And the fear of being single starts to become so great that you'll tolerate
Yeah.
anything from someone just to be with someone.
It's really
because
tricky.
you do start to believe like, well, I'm never going to be with anyone.
Yeah.
So if this is the best that I can get,
Let's
it's
go.
It's never that. It's not the case.
It's not the case,
It's also
but-
truly like, I look back and I'm like, oh, it would have been better to be single.
Sometimes we have to give people grace and
Oh, totally.
like I'm speaking to myself because I'm like, oh girl, get out of there. But I'm just like, wait a second, give grace. It's really disheartening and a bit shocking when someone calls you fat when you're in a vulnerable place, sleeping over their place. It's not even her home.
Right. Update.
Oh my God.
A few people asked me to update them with my boyfriend's reaction when he wakes up, but since my post was deleted for Rule 8, I figured I should post the update over here so this one doesn't get deleted too. After reading everyone's responses, I decided it's over between the two of us whether he tries to apologize for the stunt he pulled or not. So a few hours after I posted, I woke up to the sound of my boyfriend quietly sobbing. I roll over toward him and he's like, "Why can't you do this one thing for me? All I want is for my woman to look like a woman because I'm not gay."
Okay.
What?
I think he
man.
needs to sleep with a man and get it over with.
What's happening?
I told him that I'm done, and he started throwing a tantrum like a 2-year-old. I didn't even bother to listen to it. I had gathered my stuff together before I went to sleep, so I just picked up my backpack and left. Went home, picked up beer, pizza, and ice cream on the way, put on some cartoons, and was chilling all afternoon. Then my friend who works at Spencer's texted me.
Spencer's.
"I've got some gifts for you."
Yeah.
Apparently my ex had come in and tried to return the lingerie. Obviously, they could only give him store credit because it was out of the box, and he started throwing yet another childish tantrum. He had to be escorted out of the store by a mall cop. Thanks to y'all, I dodged a bullet with this man baby. He obviously has some serious issues, and I don't think I'm the right person to help with them. I just really feel bad for his kids and his ex-wife who are stuck with him.
Oh my God.
This guy
He's
has
29?
Kids. This guy has kids.
Why are you buying lingerie at Spencer's?
I
I thought it had like gifts.
I
and
thought that
stuff.
too.
I thought it had
don't
like
know.
lava lamps.
Yeah, I thought it had lava lamps.
I haven't been to a Spencer's Gifts in forever.
I thought
I didn't know they were still
exist.
around. I didn't think they existed either.
Makes me think that this lingerie is super uncomfortable.
It's probably really cheap.
I mean, I don't know. This guy clearly is super insecure.
Yeah.
And he's taking it all out on.
But like, what's
any
going
woman.
on with this whole like?
That's a really intense
man
thing to wake up and
thing
he's
and-
crying and he's just like so scared. Well, I mean, I think a lot of dudes, what it really boils down to, they're so afraid of being gay at all, or even being perceived as being gay. It's like their greatest fear. That's like the ultimate homophobia for a lot of men.
Yeah.
And so
Which is not what she was
they let
thinking.
it turn him into a monster
Okay.
instead of just like not caring.
Yeah. It's too far gone for this.
This guy,
guy.
honestly,
But this actually makes me feel very, very bad for his family and him.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a core of it where I feel bad for him, right? Because that comes from a place of severe insecurity.
deeply insecure.
But if he's not going to try to do anything about it
No.
and acknowledge that it's his problem,
Yeah, yeah.
he's going to take it out on other people, then he's an asshole.
Yep. Correct.
Well, I'm glad she got out.
Yeah.
She got some beer, some pizza.
Oh, I
some
love that.
I love that for her too.
She was like, "Peace out, buddy."
Pretty sick. Okay, next story. Am I the asshole for firing my best man for proposing at my wedding?
Oh, guy, come on.
That's cringe, bro.
Let's do this. This is a 30-year-old man. My wedding was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. My wife, who's 28, and I spent months planning every detail. And it turned out perfect. Almost. My best man, let's call him John, a 32-year-old man, has been my closest friend since childhood. Naturally, I asked him to be my best man, and he accepted with excitement. The ceremony was beautiful, and the reception was even better. Everything was going smoothly until the speeches. John got up to give his best man speech. At first, it was full of the usual jokes and heartfelt stories, which everyone enjoyed. But then, out of nowhere, he turned to his girlfriend, who's 25, and started talking about their relationship. Before I knew it, he was down on one knee, proposing to her right there in the middle of my reception. The room went silent. I could feel my wife's hand squeezing mine tighter and tighter.
Oof.
John's girlfriend said yes, and everyone started clapping and cheering, but I was fuming. I felt like my special day had been hijacked. Instead of celebrating our marriage, everyone was now focused on John and his fiancée. After the initial shock wore off, I confronted John and told him he was out of line. He said he thought it would be a great surprise and assumed I would be happy for him. I told him he was selfish and inconsiderate, and I ended up kicking him out of the reception. Now, some of our mutual friends are saying I overreacted and that I should have let it slide for the sake of our friendship. My wife fully supports my decision, but I'm starting to wonder if I was too harsh. Am I the asshole for firing my best man and kicking him out of my wedding for proposing during my reception?
I don't think so, man.
I don't know, but he shouldn't be proposing at someone else's wedding. It's their day. It's their wedding.
I sent this one in because I was just like, the absolute audacity is crazy.
That's
like
crazy.
during your best man speech. The whole purpose of your best man speech is to literally
celebrate the other couple.
Talk about this couple, and you made it about yourself, and you put it front and center. I don't know what this guy's worried about. If he feels this way and his wife feels the same way, I'm like, then you guys are good.
Set.
It was your wedding. You could kick someone out because you don't like them. All of a sudden, it's your wedding. You're allowed to do that.
They're disturbing the wedding. If someone was like, whoa, in the middle of your wedding, I'd be like, get the out of my wedding. I don't know what that was.
I don't think I've ever understood.
Is he okay?
I don't think I've ever understood the idea of proposing at someone else's wedding. So I'm like, you really want that to be part of your story with your partner. I guess if it's like maybe some really tight-knit families where they would like celebrate this kind of thing, I'm like, okay. But this where it's like your friend's wedding,
Maybe
I'm
they
like,
met at a wedding.
yeah.
At the
I don't know.
at the very least, run it by the bride and groom. If you're gonna be doing anything weird,
Absolutely.
and proposing is weird.
Proposing's weird.
Yeah, I guess the idea is that you're at a party.
I'm allergic to stupid.
I guess the idea is that you're already at a big event with like everyone's there, all your friends. There's music. It's a positive atmosphere. So it's an idea to take advantage of that and propose while you're in the right situation there. I just think it's really shitty because everyone knows like the whole idea of a wedding is about the bride and groom. It's literally their day. So to even have to plan that in advance and do it is really shitty. I don't know if I would clap if I was in that situation. Not out of being like, I think I would just be like,
what?
I would feel pissed like on the behalf of the bride.
oh,
and groom.
totally. I'd be like, is this a prank?
Right.
Yeah, it would make me feel icky.
Totally. Especially if I saw that the bride and groom were there, like, I'd be like, oh shit. A bunch of comments. If he thought you'd be happy, why didn't he take 2 seconds beforehand to clear it with you? Not the asshole, don't propose at other people's weddings. That's true. Oh, I thought you'd be happy. It's like, then tell me.
Right.
Someone else said, lots of things you maybe shouldn't do at any wedding. I watched the groom get up to make his toast, and he did, and then spent what seemed like forever tearing into his parents. 300 guests were all trying to figure out the same thing. How do we make it stop? It was probably only 2 minutes, but it felt like 20. It was 25 years ago, and I've never forgotten it. I'll bet 299 other people haven't either. Lastly, someone said, yep, I absolutely get where people think it's a good idea because if you share a friend group or a family, then everybody you know will be there for your proposal. It sounds like a decent idea, except it just changes the vibe of the day, as it then turns the rest of the day into congratulating the newly engaged instead of being all about the newly married couple. Yep, super selfish to do without an okay from both the people getting married.
It's like the one time you should be allowed to be so selfish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is literally the whole purpose of it.
Absolutely.
Insane shit. I think he did the right thing by kicking him out.
For sure.
It's like, that's over. It does suck. That's his like childhood best friend. And so that's probably the end of that.
I wonder how the woman being proposed to felt.
I mean, she said yes.
She's probably scared.
It's tough. It's hard for me to relate to. 'Cause it's a situation I don't think I ever would have ended up in.
No. Sorry, not to be this guy, but couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
I feel like if it happened to me, I would, in the best improv way that I can, be like, yes, and we just recreated how you guys proposed to each other in the park. Right, we love you guys. Yay, get back to the speech, honey.
Next story. This is a 32-year-old man. My best friend asked if I would be her, a 30-year-old woman, if I would be her sperm donor for her surrogate, and I am in love with her, but she has no idea.
Oh, you okay?
I got the chills and like I felt like my boobs were gonna get off and run away for some reason. Like I was like, whoa, like that was a really panicking, crazy thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Don't run away.
No.
Run! So for a bit of background, we met in college and have been best friends since then. We hooked up once years ago. It was a drunken exchange, and I honestly chalked it up to we were both drunk and in the right place. She got ovarian cancer that was stage 3 a few years back and survived and has been in remission. However, she had to have a complete hysterectomy. She had mentioned a year ago she was considering surrogacy. She had told me she planned to use a donor as she has been single for a while. Thing is, I am in love with her, and I have been for years, but she has no idea. I know at one point she had feelings for me, but I was seeing someone then, and out of respect for my girlfriend at the time, she never acted on it. I feel like before I give her an answer, which will be yes, I should tell her how I feel. I want to make her dream of motherhood come true, and I am honestly touched she thinks so highly of me, she wants me to be the father. Regardless of how she feels, I will still donate, and if she doesn't still feel the same way, I will love her as my best friend. Guess I am trying to find the best way to ask her and came to Reddit for advice. So how should I handle this?
Whoa.
Oh my God, I love that she's single right now.
That's crazy. It's like, she totally, like, sorry, it's not spoiling because this is just what I think. She totally loves him.
Right? That's what I'm like, this
totally
is a
loves
movie.
him.
This reminds me of like the subreddit where dudes miss like the signals.
Yeah.
Where it's like she's literally being like, "Hey, will you have my baby?" And he's just like, "I don't know what she's. I don't know if she's into me."
She's like, every part about
have
you.
my baby.
Yeah.
You give birth to my child, mister?
She's like, every single part of you, like you physically, you emotionally, everything about you I want to have in a child. Like, she doesn't know I'm in love with her.
She wants to. Yeah. I like what the. Some comments. This sounds like an old Jennifer Aniston film plot. I'm pretty sure this is a movie with, I think it's Jason Bateman and Jennifer Aniston. Someone said, OP, put your feelings aside for a sec and think about the choice this woman is making. She's presumably about to become a parent, and naturally there are many angles to this life choice that she's considered. Except there's one angle she hasn't considered. You're in love with her. You're doing her a disservice by even considering not telling her that you're in love with her. It has a bearing on the situation. Bottom line is that she deserves a chance to consider all of the information surrounding her decision. That includes you, if you're part of the equation. Tell her how you feel. She deserves to know.
That's so true. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've always felt that way. It sounds like he truly values her as a friend, which is different than what other stories where we've heard where a guy like finds out that the girl doesn't like him back and he's like, well, I don't want anything to do with you because, or there's friends who have held onto their feelings for their friend that's a girl for so long or gender's like changed up or whatever, but like, it can come across dishonest that you've been being my friend for so long, but you've been secretly in love with me and like.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of complications. Like, it's a good thing that he's in love with her because if he was just like a friend, him being the sperm donor, it's like, all right, so I'm still gonna know you and I'm gonna know your kid, but like, I'm not gonna take on the parent role. Like, I think that'd be strange as this kid grows up knowing like, oh, and he was the sperm donor, he's my dad. Like,
I don't know.
I feel like
It's a
that
very modern
responsibility would
world.
eventually, I don't know, I'm just thinking about that. But we have an update.
Oh boy.
Oh.
What did you say?
So good.
Buy it now. Smosh.com.
There's just cognac in that. Update.
Oh God, I hope he's your husband.
I hope they
Oh God, I hope
I appreciate all the feedback. Most of you were nice. There was a few idiots telling me I needed to be alpha and be more manly, but whatever. Jesus.
Go take a shower.
They just commented, oh!
Anyway, the consensus with my real life friends was I needed to tell her. We do brunch on Saturdays because she does yoga Sundays, so we met up this morning. I could barely eat, and she could tell something was up. She got worried, thinking I was going to say no or something worse, so by the time we took a walk, both of us were nervous wrecks. I sat her down and told her everything. How I realized I was in love with her several years back, but was too much of a chicken shit to come clean. I told her that I never said anything because I did not want to jeopardize our friendship. Her face turned white, and then a myriad of expressions came over her face. Then she started laughing till tears came down her face. I honestly was stunned, my stomach was in my throat, and I honestly thought that almost 12 years of friendship were down the toilet. Then she started crying, sobbing really, and she lightly hit my chest. She laughed She half laughed and sobbed that she was in love with me too, but she thought that it would also impede the friendship we had, and she wanted nothing to screw up what we have. We hugged, and I told her that there is no one on this earth I would want to have a child with but her.
Stop!
Shut up!
Shut the fuck up, Jane! This isn't fucking funny.
We talked for hours. In fact, I just got home. We have decided that we want to focus on us for now.
Perfect.
I want us to be at that point that we can do it together. I know that this isn't a rom-com and that things could end up not working out for us in the end. However, I am pretty sure if there are such things as soulmates, she is mine. Thank you guys and gals for giving me the courage to tell her.
They're set.
There's one comment. It's an amazing feeling coming clean to someone you've been in love with for years. Took me 5 years to tell my now wife. Congrats, man. Take everything as it comes. Nothing is wrong or right from here. One tip, communicate always, and if you are unsure of anything, ask.
Oh my God.
He goes, XOXO, Santa Claus.
XOXO, Santa
XOXO,
Claus.
the ghost of Mr. Rogers.
Wow.
All right.
I think they're set. They're gonna make.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fucking done with this one. As in, like, I'm undone.
Yeah, she's done. I think I have. It's a green flag when you hear someone be like, and like, and it might not work out, but for now, like, this is
Totally.
where it's at, because they're trying to just appreciate the relationship, and then, like, I don't know, it's just a green flag to me.
Well, and people, I think sometimes with this, they think, oh man, I wish I'd said something longer ago, but it's like, but you're probably in just the right place now.
Right.
Like who you are now might work and who you were 5 years ago may not have worked. So maybe it's a good thing that it's happening at this point.
I'm so happy for them. Oh my God, imagine being in her position. It's like literally her wildest dreams are being said out loud to her right then.
That's crazy.
Like,
Crazy.
that is crazy.
It's so funny how they both had these feelings and didn't say anything, but it got to the point where she was like, yeah, will you be the sperm?
kid.
Can we have a kid together?
Yeah.
They had that decision lined up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, weird way to slide in.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like, I love your vibes. Could you be the father of my kid? No strings attached.
Yeah.
Saw you from across the bar, and I really love your sperm.
You just seem like a sperm I'd pay for, so.
Okay.
It makes me want to tell the breakfast story.
Oh, yeah.
I was feeling feelings for this guy, but we were friends, and I was so worried that he was disgusted and weirded out by me. Like, I was so worried that he was uncomfortable, that maybe he could tell I was into him. So I literally asked him to go to breakfast just to tell him, like, we're friends, right? Like, I literally took him to breakfast to, like, make sure he, like, didn't think that I liked him. That was a long time ago.
And I remember being like, oh shit, does she think I like hate her? Like, what vibes am I giving off?
This is sweet as shit.
It was a different time.
It was very funny.
Yeah, no, I was so afraid. I was so afraid of losing a friend that I was like,
You're like, I don't have any feelings. I just want you to know.
I just want to, like, even though you never asked, I just want you to know.
We're
just friends.
I'm not in love with you. These pancakes are great.
Yeah. Anyways.
These pancakes are really good for people who are not in love.
Yeah.
These are like good platonic pancakes.
Can I get the platonic waffle?
Can I get the platonic? Can I get pancakes?
Okay, next story. Am I the asshole for wearing a white dress to my friend's wedding?
Oh.
Dude, why?
Why would you do that?
It's like the one rule.
It's the one rule. And don't wear something close to it. Champagne is kind of white.
Oh.
Ivory is literally white.
Do not do that.
Cream.
Cream is basically white. It is white.
Gray.
Why?
Why would you wear, when did gray look good at a wedding?
That's true.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I, a 20-year-old woman, met my friend Charlotte, who's 21, when I moved into my college dorm in August of 2020. We got along well, shared ideas for how we wanted to divide space and keep things clean/organized, and had similar interests. Within a month, we were studying and hanging out together, and I considered her a good friend. I also met her now husband, Josh, 22. They seemed like a cute and loving couple, and I was very happy when they got engaged Christmas of 2020 after 3.5 years together. Charlotte has spent the last 18 months planning this wedding down to the last detail. I won't say she's obsessive, but it's been intense, and I've tried to help her as best I can with making appointments, managing stress, etc. I also gave her $250 to help pay for the wedding. Her family can only afford part of it, which isn't included in the wedding gift I'm going to give her. A month before the wedding, I was still trying to decide exactly what to wear. I wanted something nice because Charlotte said she would have a photographer, videographer, and wedding painter. I knew Charlotte had a vision for her wedding, and I wanted her as in control as possible for all the details of her special day, so I asked her which dress out of the 3 I'd narrowed it down to that I should wear. She asked if I would actually pull out all my dresses, so I did. She ended up narrowing it down to one of my picks, along with a dress I had put firmly in the no pile for being white. It was a wedding after all. She told me both dresses were lovely, but that she prefers the white one. I asked if she was sure, and she said yes, and even picked out a pair of pink and white heels from her closet to go with my dress. I figured that was that. Fast forward to last week, I showed up in the dress about a half an hour before the ceremony. I got some weird looks, but no one said anything. In hindsight, this is when I should have realized something wasn't right. When Charlotte comes out of her dressing room for some last-minute pictures, she looks shocked to see me, and then she starts turning red. She pulls me aside and starts going off on me immediately about wearing the dress to her wedding. I'm stunned. I ask her what the problem is because she picked the dress out, and she told me it was a friendship test, and that if we were real friends, then I wouldn't have worn a white dress or her shoes to her wedding. I started laughing because I honestly thought it was a joke, and she screamed at me that I ruined her fucking wedding and to get the fuck out. I flat out told her she was crazy and left, not wanting to fight anymore and not knowing how to deal with what happened. I grabbed my wedding gift for them on the way out. My phone has been flooded with texts, voicemails, and social media notifications from her friends, and her family about what an asshole I am. But I honestly don't see what I did wrong. Am I really the asshole here? Edit. Someone made a comment about how if the bride is wearing white, I should at least be prepared for the weird glances. The bride didn't even wear white. That was another non-traditional thing she did. She wore blue.
Can I just say something? Is she colorblind?
Well, white, I don't think would be a problem.
No, she did it as a friendship test, which I've never, I don't think I've ever experienced.
A friendship test?
A friendship test.
I have.
Oh no.
I'm not friends with them anymore.
Yeah, that's
that
some
makes
weird
sense.
shit. Because you're being a good friend by being like, well, you told me to do this and I'm
Could you
going to do
imagine
it.
if she showed up and was like, I knew it was a test. You're so right. I'm wearing black. And it's just like,
thank you for
what?
Thank you for not listening to me in the right way.
What a psychopath.
Yeah, it's some weird shit.
Wait, that's
This
crazy.
is so weird. But also, like, okay, yes, friendship test, friend, bride, very weird behavior from her, but also, why would you even let white be an option to begin
Well,
with?
she had it in the no pile.
She had it in the no pile, okay.
She had it in the no pile, but her friend was like, oh, this dress, wear this one. And let me get you some matching shoes for it.
That's what's tricky is like, she's the bride. So she's also being like, I really want you to wear this. So she's like, oh, you know, it was in the no pile, okay.
My understanding as far as weddings go is like, if the bride says they want something, that you're doing that. Even if it's like...
That is so wrong.
It's so weird.
Also, she completely embarrassed her.
Yeah. And your friend, like, gave you money and supported you through your, like, why are
This
you...
is some weird shit.
This
like,
is so
what a
weird.
weird turn. The verdict is not the asshole.
Yeah.
Comments, not the asshole. I was super ready to say you're the asshole.
Right.
But this chick picked out the dress as a friendship test? That's absolutely bananas. She's an attention-seeking psycho, and I'd say stay as far away from her and any of her flying monkeys as possible. If there are any mutuals you don't want to give up without a fight,
Right.
maybe make a statement about what she did and how inappropriate her actions were to trick you. Someone else said, not the asshole. If you had worn a different dress, the psycho bride would have said you're the asshole because you didn't wear the dress she picked.
Yep.
This was a setup for you
That's
to
true.
fail the friendship test either way.
Yep.
OP, don't look back. Lastly, someone said, not the asshole. While I would otherwise say it's a no-brainer not to wear white to someone else's wedding, the fact that she picked the dress means she chose to play mind games, knowing they could potentially ruin her fucking wedding.
Right.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. She should have just communicated like a grown-up.
Like, for what purpose? For what purpose did this woman get?
I don't understand how some people operate.
Well, she gave her a clear sign, and now she's hopefully out of that friendship.
I know, this is very clear that they should not be friends. I mean, like, also, good luck with your wedding, marriage. I don't know. You seem pretty unstable and weird.
Yeah, this is a wife test.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a wife test.
Whatever that looks like.
If I was the husband or the partner and seeing that, I'd be like, you're doing what?
He probably didn't see it. And
Probably has no idea.
And then she was probably like, oh yeah, she's crazy. She showed up in white.
Yeah, I wonder what she's telling everyone.
Okay, wait. Also, okay, hold on. Just to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Just saying, I don't think this girl did anything wrong. But what if there's a whole long history of...
There could be backstory.
There's a lot, maybe
might be right.
maybe the girl's like, dude, you've done this so many times. Maybe this is the official, like the way that the only way that I can see you for who you really are, I guess. I don't know, maybe there's been a lot of history.
You're probably right.
There could be a lot of history and she doesn't know how to deal with it and she's gonna do some weird test thing like this to prove something. I don't know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, but like the base, even the lead up to do a friendship test and to lie and say, wear this, I didn't want you to listen to me. I'm like, that's weird no matter what.
Right.
And maybe there was stuff that maybe they're both weird and have been doing this, but all we have is that.
I feel like there's history.
I think there's a ton of history and maybe they do friendship tests on each other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories we read where I'm like, oh, you're best friends. Oh, you guys were never friends.
No.
At all.
But I will say, wedding stuff is so tricky and complicated. To test people, like it's just already a stressful thing and there's a lot of expectations and a lot of big feelings. And to test someone on your wedding day, like, why would you even want that stress on yourself?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get some more details because we're an update.
What?
Okay.
Okay, it's been a crazy few days since I posted that. I had to wait until I was home to read all the comments and they just kept pouring in. Thank you to everyone who gave me feedback as to why they thought I was or was not the asshole. I texted Charlotte the day after making the post, sometime around 4 p.m., and told her she had 48 hours to tell her friends and family the truth and get them to stop sending me hateful messages or I'd tell them the truth myself. She told me I had no proof and that no one would believe me. I should have just gone ahead and posted proof, but I wanted things to be ended as diplomatically and non-dramatically as possible. I called her husband around lunchtime 2 days later to see if he could talk some sense into her, and that's when things got weird. I had him on speaker and was recording the convo for extra evidence in case he knew about the dress thing. At this point, I didn't know if he did or didn't. It turns out he did, but when I tried to convince him to talk Charlotte down, he tried to talk me down, saying I need to let it go and just admit I was wrong so everyone can move on. He said, Charlotte can be a little dramatic. You know that. She loves attention. She'll forgive you if you apologize. I told him I didn't do anything wrong, but he said, I know, but just suck it up and apologize anyway. That's what I do. I told him I wasn't going to apologize and that they only had a few hours left before I told the truth for them. And then he offered to sleep with me as an apology.
What? What?
Oh, this man doesn't have any freedom. He has no freedom.
Wait. He's gonna sleep with her?
How is that an apology?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, listen. Look, I'll let you have sex with me.
What the?
If that's an apology.
All right, come on over, jump on the bed. Let's do this. Just come on.
I told him to F off and hung up. Okay, now we're getting into,
they're into some freaky shit.
What the hell's going on here?
There's some freaky shit.
I waited out the remaining bit of those 48 hours, and then I took to Facebook and posted screenshots of that conversation plus the couple of times I checked in with her about the dress by text featuring date, time, stamps. I also added the recording of her husband hitting on me.
Stop. Hitting on you, honey. It was more than hitting on you.
That was Friday evening. Now it's Monday morning, and I've had to block Charlotte, her husband, and a few of their friends and family who still support them and are cross with me about trying to ruin their marriage. Most people have reached out to apologize, but I'm honestly just thankful this is all over. Hoping my social circle can go back to normal after this and that this will turn into another funny story I can tell friends in the future. Edit, just a note because a lot of people have brought up the $250. No, I haven't gotten it back, but I did send her and her husband a Venmo request for the money back. I'd also like to make it clear to those arguing about it, I didn't give Charlotte the money because she asked for it. I donated it of my own volition because I knew she still had part of the wedding left to pay for, and I wanted to take a tiny bit of stress off of her in that area since I could afford to. Her family wasn't covering 3/4 because it was too expensive. It's because they believe when you get married, you should cover some of the costs yourself as a recognition of the kind of commitment you're making. Charlotte and Joss weren't struggling to afford things. I just wanted to be a good friend because we'd become so close, and she was with me through a couple of very hard things these past 2 years. It hurts a lot to have lost her as a friend. She had become the sister I'd always wanted growing up, and it really feels like I lost a family member here. Yeah, but you're walking away from something real weird.
Is happening.
The husband, what the hell?
I'll sleep with you. All right, I'll give it up. Like, what are we discussing?
No.
Who are these people?
I don't know.
This is what I think is him saying that.
Yeah.
I think Charlotte knows her husband is like not really on her side and maybe knows that he's into OP. And so she just probably has had this like boiling disdain, maybe.
Oh, maybe that's the history.
That's a theory.
Yeah.
That's a theory. Because for him to just outright be like, I'll sleep with you, is like, okay, so he's really into you. And I don't know, I think she might be aware.
I think they bring other people in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And there's like some really deep like history there.
There's something going on with this, because those are some weird things thrown into this.
This is very, very weird.
It's weird.
It does not feel like it's of this earth.
Yes.
It feels like another universe, planet
Agreed.
type of thing. I have never heard something so insane in my life. This is insane.
I know, I've never had like the option to be like, I'm so sorry, I'll sleep with you. like to make it up to you, I'll sleep with you. It's like, whoa. Okay.
Oh, that'll
like,
make
who
it
are
better.
you? Who are you? Why would I say yes? Who are you?
Dude, she dodged a bullet. Could you imagine?
But
Is
I'm
she
just
still friends with them?
I'm confused because she's like, this person has been like a family member, like a sister.
I know, man.
So how did it get to this point? There must be so much of other things that we just don't know about this.
Yeah, no, the husband's comment makes me like, what's going on here?
Yes. Yes.
Second friendship test?
Oh my God.
No.
That's what I was thinking. Another friendship
No,
test.
literally, they could be that f***ed up for the husband to say, I'll sleep with you. And what if she was like, okay. And then Charlotte's like, and that's another friendship test that you failed. It's like, what? That actually, that makes sense because nothing else makes sense.
Nothing
None of
makes
it makes
sense.
sense.
Why are there so many tests? Why?
Why are we going to school?
Why are we in school? Get over it. Be
over it.
grown. Up.
Be grown.
Up. Be grown up.
The only thing that OP, I think, went a little overboard is, in a lot of states, it is illegal to record someone and then post it.
They're not from California, that's for sure.
Yeah, so, but maybe they're in a state where they're allowed. I do think he was crazy for what he said. That's the craziest shit that happened in this. But, like, she really did, like, go above and beyond to... She knew what she was doing there. I mean, this friend is already insane. I can't say I'm sitting here upset at what she did. It's already so messy that it's like, all right, you're hopping in the mess yourself. But
Facebook.
it's wild. It is one of those, it's like I said earlier, where I'm like, were you guys actually friends? Like, you're saying you were there for each other at hard times, but you both are, you guys are trying to kill each other now.
Yeah.
There's way more to this story.
This feels like what would happen, like the Mean Girls sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when they're
R-rated.
really grown up.
Yeah.
Open
The
relationship.
burn book?
Wild.
Don't know what I was going to do after that, but.
Imagine like one of us just just started posting this on Facebook.
Look, I
I'd
gotta
like,
be honest.
That's what Facebook is.
If I saw that post and it was someone I knew, even remotely, I'd be all in.
Oh, I'd be listening. I'd be like, wow, he's crazy. Let me text him.
I think they need to be casted for like Real Housewives of Salt Lake City or something.
True.
You're right. This is some reality TV.
This is reality
Whoa.
TV.
What the was that?
Dude, that was so
Fucking weird.
Some people are insane.
Like this almost feels like a lie.
for
Like it
each
feels like
other.
she's lying about it.
Because they're in their like early 20s. I learned throughout my 20s, sometimes in life stuff just happens to you. You're thrust into like weird situations that you can't avoid. But I have learned that there are a lot of people who love to just fuck shit up.
No, it's weird.
Where I'm like, your wedding could have been great. You decided to make it fucking crazy.
Are they from England?
I don't
They said
think
cross. She's cross with me.
Moving on. I, a 25-year-old woman, discovered my boyfriend, a 28-year-old man, of 3 years, is cheating. Tonight is the biggest night of his life. Help me.
This is a good Hitman level.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I won't go into all the gory details of our relationship. We were in love, and well, I still love him, but I found out clearly he does not. I discovered proof that he has been cheating on me for a while, in the form of small home movies of them. I don't know the girl, and from the looks of their conversations, yep, went ahead and post-discovery snooped, she has no idea I exist. Tonight is the biggest night of my boyfriend's life. He's receiving a state award at a big dinner with a few hundred people attending, from his mom and dad to councilmen and all of that. In fact, the only reason the only reason I discovered this transgression is because I've been putting together a little video for him to enjoy some of the key moments of his life. You know, typical sappy shit. I'm burdened with a lot of power right now, and I don't know if I have it in me to do the right thing, or if I even know the right thing. I'm blinded with tears of rage and sadness and betrayal, but at the same time, I love him, have loved him, and do I really want to do this? The relationship is over, no doubt about it. I am not a woman who will take her man cheating on her. Certainly not. That's not the issue. The issue is there are cutesy selfies of the two of them, a lot of them, only shared between the two of them. Nothing lewd, there's plenty of that on camera though. Do I sneak one in the snap reel as a way of letting him know that I know? Or do I simply confront him after his moment in the sun passes? I'm not going to pick up everything and leave without cutting contact. That's not my style, and it wouldn't make me feel good, just very sad. Do I do the bitchy thing for once in my life? To anyone looking at the snap reel, it would just look like a picture of him and a friend. But to him and to me, it would be a private message, an outing. Help me, Reddit. I don't know what to do this time. Help me, Reddit.
Help me, Obi-Wan.
Because the rest of the people there won't know, this makes it, because initially I was like, I don't know, feels a little too much. Like,
I think
to,
we were
like, out
picturing
him.
her like splicing in like Fight Club, like fucking clips of them
She's not
fucking.
talking about anything lewd. She's talking about literally just a photo of him and her, just like, so people are gonna think like, oh, it's some.
And the next picture is her crossing her arms like.
Yeah. And then it's just text saying, I know. How insane, if she does it, is that moment for him?
Crazy.
You're there in like this high stakes. You're probably nervous about like, oh my God, I'm in front of all these people. And then you see that, and then you look over and she's there just like.
Yep.
She's not gonna be keeping her cool, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna come up and
she's gonna be sobbing in the back.
He's gonna look over, she's gonna go, oh!
Oh my God. I mean,
what would you do?
My unsolicited advice would be tell him before, ruin the night ahead of time.
That's a good point.
And not in a big way, like, you know, because I don't think like, you know, that could be. I don't know, like, I don't want to say dangerous, but that feels like.
I do think my takes a lot of times are not necessarily on what's the right or wrong thing, but like what's gonna make your life easier.
Right.
And it's like sometimes doing an extreme thing can cause an extreme reaction.
Yep.
Especially if you're a woman and you're a guy. Men they do dangerous shit sometimes, so it's like.
You get what you put out there. Yeah.
Her plan sounds pretty cool.
Right.
I am eager to
It would be satisfying in the moment.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Oh, it's a movie moment.
Right. But do you want your life to be a movie or do you want your life to be a life?
Exactly. Ooh,
Right.
That's a good point.
Good, write that down.
Okay, comments. Nah, you know what? If there's really nothing that anyone would pick up on other than the two of you, you slip that photo into the slideshow. Make eye contact with him when the photo appears on screen. Then when it's over, you stand up and walk out. It ain't the high road, but nobody needs to walk the high road all the time. OP responded, I chuckled. I think the only reason I would do this is to make eye contact with him so that he knows I know. But I'm not sure I have the guts to do that. I'm not exactly Olivia Pope. Character from Scandal.
Yeah,
And How to Get Away with Murder. Okay. Well, it's been a month and a half since this all went down. I have gotten so many requests for an update, and I never intended to actually give one. Honestly, because I was afraid of the fallout depending on what I ended up doing. So what did I do? I did the immature, vengeful thing, and I don't regret it. I took a few photos of the two of them, tasteful photos that gave off no indication other than she might be a childhood friend. I slipped them into the snap reel, and I spoke kindly of him at the podium, and then after my turn was finished, I walked out. I drove home feeling calm and in control. 20 minutes later, the text started. Where did I go? What did I know? Where did I find the photos? Was there more in store for him? I texted him, I know you've been her, but there are no more photos. There weren't any, and of course, I left it at that. He didn't come home that night, or the next. The next day, he called me back to ask if we could meet and talk in a public location. I agreed to meet him at Starbucks. I arrived early, waited for him. He showed up a few minutes late and took the seat across from me. He started right off with the excuses, how it just happened, and he regrets it fully. She doesn't mean anything to him, and that she looked like a girl he had a crush on in high school, and he was powerless against his teenage self.
Right.
I didn't interrupt him.
She's like, oh, okay.
She's like, oh, let's get a frap. Let's get a frap and go home.
Yeah.
I didn't interrupt him, just let him have his time. When he was done and looking at me for a sign of what might happen next, all I could say was, so where did you stay the past few nights? Her house. And what did you do? He wouldn't answer. There hadn't been any doubt in my mind. Really, I knew
there was only one bed.
I knew I was leaving him. He talked over himself, apologizing, begging for forgiveness, saying he'd change. I told him that I didn't want him to have to change himself. That if who he was naturally was someone who cheated on his girlfriend, then that's not someone I wanted to be with. He said that he was thinking of proposing to me, and all I could say after that was, good thing I found out before. Fast forward to a few weeks later, he's moved out and I am doing well. We have cut off contact. People ask me about him all the time, and I just let them know he left me for a girl who looked like his high school crush. So that's the end. We are broken up. We are never, ever, ever getting back together. I don't feel any regret of how I handled it. Like one commenter said, there's no need to take the high road all the time.
Yeah, she rides up on the little.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I guess it didn't make a difference, huh?
No, it all seemed to work out.
She should have shot him with like a crossbow.
Yeah.
At Starbucks.
A vanilla bean crossbow.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. When people cheat, almost the worst part to me when people cheat is when they then think they try to spin it away where it's like, well, we're gonna be okay, right? It's just like, now you're insulting their intelligence.
Yeah.
Like, if you cheat, and then you don't admit it, but then you get caught, you might as well just be like, all right, well, I guess we're done. Like,
This isn't like.
you got me.
Hey.
Cut this out. Shane's been doing like little Trump impressions all day, and I've like caught it. I've caught it in my system.
She looked like my high school crush.
Okay. This is like an affair. This is like a multi-year.
Yes.
Like this is.
Yes, it's horrendous, and the confidence he had to have all this photo footage and stuff. It's
Right.
like it's wrong no matter what, but it hurts more when it's like, damn, and you didn't even feel you needed to hide it. Like there's such an insult to your intelligence in it that sucks.
Well, good for her, I guess.
Oh, good for her. Comments. What a cowardly piece of shit. Good on you, girl, for leaving his cheating ass. And now he's her problem. Lastly, someone said, this was so satisfying to read that you put the photos in and then left. You go, girl. I am sorry that he was such an awful guy. Can't believe he tried to pull this after saying he had stayed at her house for 2 nights. He said that he was thinking of proposing to me, and all I could say after was good thing I found out before. Perfect reply from you. What a scumbag he is. Also, good job on being honest with those who have to ask about where he is. I hope all goes well in the future for you, OP.
Also, I love you.
Also, I'm in love with you. Yeah, crazy shit.
Wow.
Would I be the asshole for giving my old cello to a fellow student in need and not my niece-in-law? This is a 36-year-old man. I've been learning the cello for 8 years and have been attending the same music school since starting. I started learning late in life because I grew up in a poor family that couldn't afford things like instruments and music lessons. I met Chloe while we were both waiting to go into our lessons a few years back. We speak often about stuff on the regular because our lessons have always fallen into the same time slot and we're both in the orchestra, etc. She's about 13, very polite and eager to learn, and treats her very cheap rubbish instrument that her parents got for her from an online store like gold. I know her parents, they're lovely people, it's all they can afford. I'm not shaming them, but if you know anything about instruments, you know what I mean. It's also only half size and far too small for her, but there's not a single scratch on it and she practices every spare minute. I've recently upgraded to a performer instrument, and a trade-in on my $9,000 cello would have gotten me only $4,000 back, so I decided to keep it and sell it myself. I'm pretty well off now, but I know what it's like to be where Chloe is, so I've taken pity. I usually gift her something at Christmas, like her next grade of music book, rosin, and a gift card from the local luthier to get a new bow and have her instrument serviced. But having not had time to list my old cello for sale or even know where to, my good deed strings got plucked at thinking that my old instrument would likely mean the world to someone like Chloe, whose parents will likely never afford a decent instrument for her. But stupid me mentioned this idea to my sister-in-law, Gail, who has a daughter, a 14-year-old girl, we'll call her Alice, and she told me that Alice wants to learn the cello and insisted that I give the instrument to her daughter instead, as it's too valuable to give to a stranger's kid. Alice is her own little dude, and we get along quite well, but she has never mentioned wanting to learn an instrument to me until she watched Wednesday, and now it's cool all of a sudden. Alice hasn't stuck with anything for long. She follows fads and jumps from one thing to another and is, for lack of a better word, spoiled. Based on her track record, handing her anything other than a student cello as her first instrument would be a waste, as I'm unable to convince myself that she would even practice, let alone reach a point that would call for this level of instrument. Where Chloe is at a point where, yes, this instrument is slightly too big for her right now, but she needs it. Call me what you'd like for this part, but I'd feel happier about giving it away to someone that needs it like Chloe, rather than someone that just wants it but is connected to me, you know? But that has me worried that I might be seen as an a-hole on this decision. Family first? The music school is putting on Christmas carols tonight, and I intend to gift the cello to Chloe at the end, but I'm still conflicted about it.
Aww.
I don't think he's the asshole at all. I think that's totally...
No, I mean, it's his to give to whoever he wishes. It's a gift. It's
Totally.
not even like the aunt is like, or the person is like, I will buy it from you, or like.
Yeah. I also, I mean, you know this about me, like, whenever I pick up a hobby or something, I very much am like, oh, well, I'm not gonna buy like the expensive thing right off the bat. I need to like earn that, or I need to like prove to myself that I'm committed to this to then buy the nicer thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like, well, it helps motivate me to be like, okay, like, I will earn that. You know, it's like several times throughout my life, I was like, oh, I'm gonna learn guitar. And I would buy like the cheapest guitar I could. And I'm like, okay, if I really commit to this, I'm gonna buy a nice guitar. And I never committed to it long enough. So I was like, I saved that money.
Yeah,
There you
it's
go,
really
yeah.
responsible. And like, yeah, this kid Chloe has been wanting and learning for a long time. So
Yeah.
I think it's really sweet, and I think that child totally would appreciate it way more than
You know
anybody
it's gonna go to
else.
good use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, when you're like something about like an older person or a better musician giving you their instrument as a younger musician is huge. Like I
Yeah.
remember, I was like, I always got my brother's hand-me-down guitars, and my uncle gave me one of his guitars like randomly once, and he was like, "You do better with it." And it was, for some reason, it was like him seeing me as a musician, and that did more to me than even giving me the guitar. It was just like, wow, you see me enough to give me this, and it was huge for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally see that.
And a cello is a very unique instrument that I
And
doubt
expensive.
many people would like commit to. Like, from what it sounds like with his niece, it's like she doesn't know it at all. It's very likely she wouldn't want to like, that's an instrument you do need lessons, you need to like commit to.
Yeah.
So he knows it's gonna go to good use with Chloe, who it sounds like he's a bit of a mentor to.
Yeah.
So it's not just some stranger. The verdict was not the asshole. Comments, not the asshole. You want that cello to be used, played, and loved, and Chloe will do that. I ended up giving my daughter's old harp to a little girl who was learning. Sure, I could have sold it, but I'd rather someone use it who wouldn't get the chance to otherwise. Lastly, someone said, not the asshole. It's yours and you can do with it as you wish. If you're well off and a student cello is within your Christmas budget, give Alice an instrument appropriate for her.
Yes.
Your sister-in-law is the only asshole here. But next time, keep your mouth shut about these things and you'll avoid the problem entirely. Update.
Oh, yay! Yay!
Wow, so many comments. Thank you to everyone that took the time to help me steady my nerves on this one and point me in what I felt was the right decision from the start, but second guessing myself. I've just gotten home from the carols. Some people mentioned asking Chloe's parents for permission to gift her the cello, and I'm glad this was mentioned because it was something that I hadn't considered, and it led to what I feel was the perfect outcome. Everyone had settled after the students had finished the show, and parents and volunteers brought cakes, etc. to share, and everyone was standing around chatting. Chloe ran off to join the line to get her bag of lollies and goodies, and it gave me a moment to approach her folks without having to mention my intention in front of Chloe before knowing how it would be received by them. I was nervous as hell, but opened up with my usual compliments on Chloe's playing. She played What Child Is This in a quartet, and it was perfect. And I made a lighthearted joke about her growing too quickly and dwarfing her cello now. Her parents laughed, but went on to mention how they've been saving to buy her a bigger one, and that they didn't want to go cheap this time like they had with her first couple of cellos, having learned a lot very quickly about quality. When they'd taken Chloe to the luthier with the intention of getting her one for Christmas, they'd been disappointed to find out that they hadn't saved enough for the quality that Chloe needed, and that they'd been devastated despite Chloe understanding and taking the revelation quite well. Figuring that a new cello was kind of something they'd worked hard on getting for Chloe, I decided to try and get them in on the idea and ask them how much they'd saved and would they be interested in buying my old one as I had a new one now and had no need for it. I didn't notice that Chloe had approached back from the line and she piped up with a low tone that they hadn't even saved enough for the student quality instruments, let alone mine. She has a good idea of how much instruments are worth. I stumbled on my words a little, but I went on to insist on knowing how much they'd saved, and her mother told me that they'd saved around $1,600. I told them that that sounded like a good enough offer to me and that I'd be happy to know that it was being played and cherished by someone like Chloe that would take good care of it, and I held out my hand to shake on the deal. No one answered for what I felt like an hour to me. Chloe's father finally responded and told me that they couldn't accept it as Chloe had pointed out an instrument of equal value to mine to them while they were in the shop, and he didn't feel it was right to take it for anything but a fair value and that they couldn't afford to do that. I'll admit that I felt a little bit annoyed by his initial good-mannered refusal, but I understood it as I was raised by similar-minded parents with the same values, but I told her parents that it was an offer that I felt that they really couldn't pass up as it was something that I felt Chloe had earned and needed desperately, and that even if they didn't accept my offer, I was going to give it to Chloe anyway, and I turned and placed the hard case in front of the shocked and dead silent Chloe and walked away. Chloe's father approached me while we were helping pack up the entertainment hall, and he gave me a hug and thanked me, promising to drop off the money at my shop in the morning and offering to help me out if I ever needed anything. For a stubborn bloke like that to be as red and teary as he was makes me sure that I did the right thing in making him accept the cello like I did. Chloe was visibly quite emotional, but trying not to show it, but she broke down after mouthing thank you to me as everyone was leaving, and I found it extremely hard to keep my composure and could only manage a smile and a thumbs up in return.
Oh
I think I'm going to be riding this high for a good while. The best thing is I can tell Gail that I sold it without having to lie, and I can toss up the idea of using the money Chloe's dad pays me for the cello to buy a reasonable secondhand learner's instrument for Alice. Again, thank you for responses and advice.
What a guy.
What
That's
a
a great
guy.
one.
I love that he went up to the parents to make sure it was okay
Totally.
and like organically brought it up and
Doing it through the parents is smart on so many levels.
100%.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, I understand they have a great relationship and the parents know him, but like he is a 36-year-old man, this is a 13-year-old girl. It's like, it's great to like go through the parents and be like, hey,
100%.
like, it's also helping out the parents by making the parents feel like they're doing it a little bit.
Exactly. You don't want to make them feel bad.
yeah,
Exactly.
so accepting that offer, like that, like making it a deal. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah. Couple comments. I wish I could give you Reddit gold, wholesome AF story. Someone else said, I'm late to the party, but OP, you're a legend. I'm a violinist and play in a quartet with a few coworkers these days. I know a gift like that as a young teen is an absolute miracle for a dedicated string player. Her cello will fit right, so her posture will be better. Her tone will be beautiful. I'm so excited for her to grow with her new cello and for you to get to watch.
Yeah, that's really sweet. I also like, there's almost like a magic to when you're given something that's been played a lot by somebody else.
I totally believe it.
Yeah, it's like, what has
Well,
this
it's broken into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like, wow, what has this instrument like done so
Totally.
far?
Truly.
It's almost like a brand new one. It's almost like, all right, we're breaking it in. It's like pressure.
Yeah.
I have my grandma's disgusting piano, and I love it so much.
This is my grandma's piece of shit,
It's
gross
just like
piano.
literally
It's a
covered in
stinky
dust,
piano.
and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's really cute.
Am I the asshole for inviting a clown to my wedding and putting him in the pictures? That is awesome. That is so sick.
Oh,
You know what I would do? Oh my God, before we read this story,
no.
this is genius. I wish I had done this. You invite a clown, you put him in some photos, you get the exact same photos with just like friends and family, and then you get photos with the clown in it, right? You wait like 20, 30 years, you have grandchildren. You've had those photos of just the family and friends up all around your house, right? Then one day you swap them with the ones with the clown. And then your grandchild's like, what's that clown? And you're like, what clown? And you just ruin their life.
This is too long of a game.
You planned it for decades to ruin
This
your
is
grandchild's
way
life.
too long of a
and
game.
Then when they come back to show their the other grandchildren, you
switch.
swapped them back, and they're like the clown, and they're like, what clown? And the clown's gone.
I love that.
And the wife is just like, stop doing
I love that. You should do this. You have to do this.
But 30 years is a long time to get satisfaction.
You wait. You wait. Oh,
That's crazy.
God.
Please do it,
Shane.
Shane.
Well, Courtney and I didn't get a clown at our wedding.
Do more pictures.
I am so upset.
Oh, God.
Damn.
No.
All right. Am I the asshole for inviting a clown to my wedding and putting him in the pictures? Throwaway account because of obvious reasons.
Okay.
I, a 29-year-old woman, married my hubby, a 31-year-old man, a few months ago. Neither of us were particularly interested in spending a boatload of money on a wedding no one would actually enjoy, so we were casual. The wedding was in the party room of a pizza place we love. It's in a recently renovated 19th century factory, so it's cool looking, and we decided to let our friends and family bring their army of small children because pizza. To entertain the kids, we decided to have a few carnival-themed games and snacks available, and we hired a clown, a 23-year-old guy, to do balloon animals. I know this clown. He's a friend of my cousin's who has good clown credentials. I know that's all real. It's just funny to like
So
read
funny.
out.
I know this clown.
I know this clown. Hey, does anyone know this clown?
I know this clown.
I know this clown.
He's got credentials.
Yeah, he's got clown credentials. What are your clown credentials? He just pulls out confetti.
He's like, beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, let me get my credentials out.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're like, that tracks. That tracks. I know this clown.
Let me see your card.
God. We could do so much with this.
This is so good.
So much.
I'm just remembering that for the 100th Try Not to Laugh, we got a clown on, and it was my dream.
Yeah.
It was so good. It killed me.
So good. And he's
All right.
like, where do I go? I was
Yeah, he was
I don't
like, all right. No, after we were done filming, there was just this clown, like, just kind of chilling, just like, all right. It's like, that's the funniest part.
Yeah.
Okay. I know this clown. He's a friend of my cousin's who has good clown credentials. He was great with the kids. We had the bright idea to invite the clown to be in some of our wedding photos as well. Anyhow, I noticed my mother-in-law in her 60s had been kind of distant since the wedding, but I didn't realize that she was pissed at us until she came to dinner last night. We got the wedding photos and picked our favorite, which is the two of us looking at each other dramatically with the clown standing next to us holding a big fake squeaky hammer like he was about to bonk my husband's head. We got it framed and put it up in the house.
What?
When my mother-in-law saw the photo, she lost it. She blamed me for embarrassing her and continuing to rub it in her face with the clown photos, and that I should have put my foot down and made sure her son had a classy wedding and not the clown show you put on. My husband told his mom to leave, but I'm honestly kind of shaken. The feedback from other family and friends has been positive, and I've had a good relationship with my mother-in-law thus far, so this was a surprise. I know a lot of people say that the wedding is for the family, not the couple, which isn't something I took seriously until now, and I'm wondering if I should have considered my mother-in-law's feelings more when putting together the party. So am I the asshole for my clown show wedding?
Okay, hear me out. All she needs to do is put back on the outfit, go to a cute little garden, and take a couple photos. Because it is for the couple, but the mothers matter. Like
Yeah.
you just need a couple things. The mothers matter. Do not, I mean, I think the clown is hilarious, but like, the moms matter. You gotta do something. That's what I think, just to like keep the peace.
Because if I were the mother and my child did that, I'd be like, funny, but also this sucks because now this is just a forever memory
Her son,
of ours.
Yeah, she doesn't have a I get it. She doesn't have a picture of her son without a fucking clown bonking his head with a hammer.
What I will defend them though is like what I think it's like, okay, this is who they are.
Yes.
This is what makes them happy.
Yes.
And like it's so much personality that those are the types of photos where 50 years later, you actually, whereas like, you know, everyone goes through this, whereas you're a kid, you're looking through old family photos of relatives who have passed away or just when they were far younger, and they all look the same.
Yeah.
Because everybody's doing the same thing, and that's cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
But when you see something interesting and different and quirky,
awesome.
it's like actually what makes you go like, oh, this is who they were. So I think it's kind of sad that the mother-in-law is like, kind of not embracing, like, this is what her son wanted too.
Oh, I think they killed it. I think.
But I also know what you mean
Do
of just
your
like,
thing.
hey, moms can be intense around
Yes.
weddings. Like,
Do your thing.
You know, maintaining a good relationship with your mother-in-law is often impossible for people. But if there is anything you can do, like
You'll just make your life
a concession to, I get
so
that.
much better if you
Right.
consider, because I had my mom, my own mom and my mother-in-law, I could feel like, oh wait, am I missing something? There's tension, what's happening? And it's like they wanted a job to do.
Yeah.
And they wanted something special that was just for them.
Yeah.
And it's like, just do it. Like have your thing, have the clown. I think that's hilarious and so great. But like have something.
Yeah.
Right.
Just make your life so much fucking easier.
Also, like, it's just nice to, I think this is also just, I love my mom so much, and I would never want to make her feel
Same.
upset or like bummed out, and like her, you know, in their position, like, oh my God, my child is getting married. This is a forever thing. Like, just make them happy. Like,
Exactly.
mothers, they do so much already. Like, just,
Especially mother-in-laws.
yeah.
Woo!
They can
It's
make your
true.
life.
Keep the peace.
Keep the peace.
I see that.
I do think it's hilarious
It's
though
so
that it's
funny.
over
So
a clown.
funny.
Like I'm so glad they did that. That's fucking hilarious. And just maybe just one
I think it is.
photo.
I will say, like in my life, it's like okay, I know who I am, I know what I want, but there are the times when you have family get-togethers or things similar to this, where it's like, all right, let's get one for mom.
Exactly.
Like I do understand that mindset of like, our mom's gonna want this, so let's do this for her.
Yeah.
Just like one.
And it's like it's annoying, but it's like let's do it. Like
And maybe she doesn't have a sense of humor. And some people don't. And like maybe the clown really upset her.
yeah.
It's like bang.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, exactly. Weddings are so tricky, but the best advice I got was like, give people a job and make the mothers feel really important.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Give them special tasks and also because like I wanted to.
Sure.
I wanted to. It's so special to have them. But like the mothers in my wedding, they walked down the aisle.
Right.
They had their own aisle moment with their own flowers.
Yeah.
And like I organized their dresses. And I'm so glad because they were glowing.
Right.
They were like, I'm a part of this.
Totally.
But and having said all that, this person's not an asshole though.
No,
like,
not an asshole at all.
You're talking about just like, hey, to make your life easier, you could do this.
No,
but
they're not an
you,
asshole.
You don't owe the mother-in-law, but you could do
No.
this to make things calm.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just like, this is probably gonna bother her.
Yeah.
It's like
That's all I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about her.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's like, all right, what do I need to do to just make my life easier for the next decades?
Yeah.
Yeah, not the
Fair.
asshole though. Like people need to have weddings that are about the couple, not the asshole. It's just like, so you're not sitting in bed thinking about it.
I get that. The comments here, not the asshole. A wedding is ultimately a celebration, and how you choose to celebrate is really up to the couple. If you want a carnival for a wedding, then go nuts. Now, that being said, clowns are a divisive form of entertainment. They can make a lot of people uncomfortable, and their style of entertainment can be invasive. I think you and hubby just need to let the situation cool down a bit and then have a conversation about how this was what you collectively wanted for your day. She's entitled to have not liked it, but it was special and fun for you two. OP said, thank you, and understandable. Apart from the photos of the three of us, we did have him stay off to the side with the kids who wanted to hang with him. So it wasn't like he was cutting the cake with us. But I have also watched a lot of true crime documentaries so I can understand people's mixed feelings.
He's cutting the cake, they're serving each other, and he's just sitting there going like, bonk, bonk, bonk.
Someone said, not the asshole, it was your wedding. As long as you and your spouse were happy, then it all is good. Regarding your mother-in-law, I'm confused as to why she would be embarrassed. If you had photos of her with the clown and she was uncomfortable with that, then it would be a kindness to not have those photos on display. Do you have more traditional photos that show you and your husband without the clown and photos of you with mother-in-law and other family without the clown? The OP responds, thank you. The only pictures the clown was in were just with me and my husband, and we have plenty of photos of just the two of us. The family photos are all clown-free. We've shared those with her and on our social media. But admittedly, the clown photos are our favorites and what we featured on our own pages for the most part. A lot of her friends have reacted to those. The reactions have been positive to our faces, but maybe they're talking crap elsewhere.
Okay.
So they do have photos.
So they literally, they did the right thing. They have their photos. Now it's just like, okay, mother-in-law, now you need to back up.
Yeah. Lastly, someone said, clowns are not my cup of tea, but far be it from me to tell strangers what kind of wedding reception they should have. Mother-in-law was probably daydreaming about a really romantic reception for her son's wedding, but it wasn't her reception, it was yours and your groom's, not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Yeah.
And also they got all the photos.
They have all the photos, so it just seems like...
Now I can just laugh at this
It just seems like the mother-in-law is mad about everything.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's another layer is their friends. Right? It's not just about the mom and the mother-in-law, but their own friends who are like, I can't believe you let your daughter.
Right.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Just like, oh, so that's really cute.
Yeah, they had a clown. For kids or them?
Yeah.
It's a different generation of.
Yes.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true.
But not the asshole.
Yeah. This is Poop Knife.
I know this one too.
Yeah. This is a legendary story. This is arguably like the most famous Reddit story. This is Poop Knife. And if you've not heard about it, buckle up. This comes from our confession and our museum of Reddit because it is such an old post. I was 22 years old when I learned that not every family has a poop knife. Who here in this room, raise your hand if you have not heard this story or you've not read this story. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, here we go.
Get ready, y'all.
My family poops big. Maybe it's genetic, maybe it's our diet, but everyone births giant logs of crap. If anyone has laid a mega poop, you know that sometimes it won't flush. It lays across the hole in the bottom of the bowl, and the vortex of draining water merely gives it a spin as it mocks you. Growing up, this was a common enough occurrence that our family had a poop knife. It was an old rusty kitchen knife that had hung on a nail in the laundry room, only to be used for that purpose. It was normal to walk through the hallway and have someone call out, "Hey, can you get me the poop knife?" I thought it was standard kit. You have your plunger, your toilet brush, and your poop knife. Fast forward to 22, it's been a day or two between poops and I'm over at my friend's house. My friend was the local dealer and always had guests over.
Local dealer of what?
Poop knives.
Of poop knives. Because you can't buy weed without sitting on your ass and sampling it for an hour. I excuse myself and lay a gigantic turd. I look down and see that it's a sideways one, so I crack the door.
What the fuck?
Well, it's a sideways one.
It's a sideways one, dude. So I crack the
Mondays,
door.
am I right?
I crack the door and call out for my friend. He arrives and I ask him for his poop knife. My what? Your poop knife, I say. I need to use it, please.
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 What the f is a poop knife? Obviously he has one, but maybe he calls it by a more delicate name. A fecal cleaver, a dung divider, a guano glaive. I explain what it is I want and why I want it. He starts giggling, then laughing. Then lots of people start laughing. It turns out the music stopped and everyone heard my pleas.
The record scratch.
Everyone heard my pleas through the door. It also turns out that none of them had poop knives. It was just my f***ed up family with their f***ed up bowels. F*** my life. I told this to my wife last night, who was amused and horrified at the same time. It turns out that she did not know what a poop knife was and had been using the old rusty knife hanging in the utility closet as a basic utility knife. Thankfully, she didn't cook with it, but used it to open Amazon boxes.
Let her cook.
She will be getting her own utility knife now.
To stab him with, I hope.
Yeah.
Dude,
This is awful.
it's probably been like a good 3 or 4 years since I've reheard this story. It's so good.
It's so funny.
Every time.
I have never heard, I know the tale.
Yeah.
But I've never heard the story.
But
There's
do you know
can buy there's like joke versions of a poop knife on the internet from like after the
That's
story.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
well,
How
it's
is it getting sideways? How are we getting sideways?
I don't know,
Decent
man.
side.
Do we have like a piggy bank slot down there? It's coming out full sideways. What's happening?
Dude.
But it's like coming out like that.
Well, I think he means it goes down and it like go. It's
I'm
so
aware
big.
of what he means. I'm just shocked at how frequent. What? It's so vile.
He's like, that's
the
when everything
word.
went sideways.
Stupid. This is awful.
No, bro. Like I like. Maybe TMI. I don't think I've ever taken a shit so big it just wouldn't flush.
I
Like
never have.
the toilet has broken on me before, but it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, look.
So you think?
Yeah.
I can say here, I'm being vulnerable. No, I have not either.
Hey, I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm super normal.
I guess it's a real thing. I mean, some people out there, they poop big, you know?
I
Since
poop
both of-
big. I play hard. I poop big.
There is that. Have you ever seen that famous photo of the like nurse running down the hallway with the like it's like the bucket thing they have in hospital beds, and it's just the biggest turd you've ever seen in your life. It's
I haven't heard the word turd in years.
I know, this is also... Also, I feel like I also have to say that all my poops flushed since you two admitted to it, and I've been silent
Hey,
since,
bro.
so I feel like I have to also say that
when this video comes out, they're like, Tommy's silence is deafening.
Tommy silence is sideways.
Tommy silence.
Oh, God. Bro, the amount of times Ian has made poop knife jokes over the years, it's a lot.
Seriously.
It's
makes a
such
lot
an
of poop.
Ian story.
It is such an Ian story.
Not because he would do it. It's just like something about it is just like, oh, this is so Ian.
What I think frustrates me about this, what I hate about him, I don't hate this guy for having a poop knife. I hate him for not keeping it in the bathroom.
No, that's crazy.
Exactly.
That's where I'm like, the f*** are you doing? Like,
Right.
you're talking about a plunger, the toilet brush and stuff. I'm like, things you keep in your bathroom, but your poop knife you keep so far away you have to call someone to go get the knife that you're gonna use to cut your shit.
It's got to be the most f***ing backwoods ass hanging on a nail in the laundry room. Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
No, this is Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
A couple comments. For some reason, I thought you were gonna say you cut it while it was still coming out of your ass like a pasta shaper. Someone said, cut the shit, this can't be real. Someone said, what the heck do y'all eat? Lastly, someone said, today I learned my husband needs a poop knife.
What the fuck?
I like how at the end of our stories, we have like a little discussion thing where Emily will put like a discussion point, like talk about this, or like, what do you think about this? She just wrote, this is insane.
Yeah?
Yep.
And it is insane.
And it is insane.
It's fully crazy. Wow.
Wow.
Finally read it.
That's
Whoa.
crazy. And there's been an update.
He's dead. He pooped too hard and he died.
He poops big.
If only Elvis had a poop knife.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, he needed to like put it up and swirl it around a little bit. He died of constipation. That's the.
Oh my God.
We can cut that. He needed serious mental and physical help.
God.
This is just.
Hey, it's Boys Day. It's Boys
I
Day.
know. I know.
Hey, we
Last,
poop.
like,
we
3
play big. We
hours.
poop big.